Okay, we got one more thing we're going to hit real quick with Peter. This thing's called the Phazer, and I'm going to let him explain it, but it's the coolest thing, I don't know, since sliced bread?
I don't know, it's pretty cool. We're getting a lot of action on this thing. Real simple. What happens is you take any two sound sources, let's say two microphones on an acoustic guitar, they can be in two different places within a room. What you want to do is you want to get those so that they line up or they sound in phase because of a physical distance situation. One mic might be on the sound hole, one might be further away. So what you want to do is adjust that time delay or that phase so that they work together. That's what the Phazer does. It lets you move a simple knob and sweep one of those sources until it times with the other one. It's a real simple box. It's so easy to use and it sounds great because you just have to listen to it till it sounds nice to your ears.
So for instance, if we had a bass guitar plugged direct into the system and then we had a mic on the cabinet, there's a couple of good inches difference on that.
Well, not only that, you've got the propagation of the loudspeaker. So what happens is that you would delay the direct signal using the Phazer until it sounds right. The other cool thing is we've added what we'll call a low pass filter. So it only lets the lows pass as you dial that in. So that way you dial in or you phase adjust the fundamentals. You don't worry so much about the high frequencies. That really lets you cue into certain instruments very, very well, such as a bass guitar.
Sure. Yeah, and a snare drum. Talk about maybe a top and bottom mic situation.
You know, top and bottom of a snare, front and back of a kick drum, anything. It's just that easy. It's one of these toys that just is so much fun to use. And what I really like about it is using it with something like a JDX on the guitar. You can get that big fat sound fast. That way, if I'm setting up sound with a band, I can be up and running with great sound right away. And that's really an important thing, especially live. Up night after night after night, you want to get good sound, you want to get it done. That's what it does.
So the JDX, this guy here, you told me about this just a minute ago. This is basically kind of a box that kind of goes in between the guitar amplifier and cabinet. It lets me get a good sound off the amp head itself.
Well, yeah, and I'll tell you, the important thing is that the JDX is a reactive load, and what that means is that sound not only comes from the head, but the back electromagnetic impulse from the speaker gets read by this, or gets picked up by the JDX, and that way what you get is a very natural sounding guitar. It's just
so it doesn't sound like my guitar plugged straight in the PA. It sounds like my guitar should sound.
It's as close as we've been able to get so far. I mean, we just got some great comments from one of the top players up in Toronto, Canada, called Kim Mitchell, just used the JDX over at Metalworks Studios, which is the largest studio in Canada, and that's exactly what he said. He said, man, this is the closest thing I've ever heard. And
wow, that's cool. Because most of us had heard a guitar plugged straight into PA and it doesn't sound good.
Right, and we're on tour with Slayer, we're on tour with a whole bunch of people, so you know, you're getting a lot of, you know, players really like the sound of JDX. So I think when those guys start using this Phazer along with it, I think they'll be really blown away.
Sure, because we get the punch of a direct signal and the warmth and the tone of an amp.
Yeah, it's a combination, and it's just getting that, you know, you make it sound right for the room, make it sound right for the mix. It's just